So part of what we're doing here is waking up to our nature. And then when we have woken up to our nature, is the process, it's really the process of the awakening body. And in the process of the awakening body, it's really where the light body starts blending with our physicality. And what I mean with that is probably you've heard of the pineal gland. And the pineal gland, the very, very important gland that's here, right? The back of your head. And it's a very, as I said, an important gland that's kind of like the center of operation of enlightenment, you could say, could call it, or the awakening body. So really what happens when awakening happens, there's just more light is coming through the pineal gland. It becomes kind of like a conduit of light. And with more and more sitting as the silence, which is not always easy, often when we start sitting in meditation, even when you're very well trained and deeply cultivated, there's still conditioned self there, and there's still distraction here. There's all kind of stuff happening that we so easily get distracted by. The more we keep on making ourselves available to being here and being that steady trunk of the tree, the more and more our conditioned self starts dissolving. Part of our conditioned self is when there's an itch that we start itching. All kinds of distractions, physical distractions, take us away of just relaxing back. Because that's, to me, really what freedom is, what enlightenment is to be relaxed no matter what happens. Yeah, it's just resting as peace, relaxing back. And when the nervous system is not calm all the way, it cannot quite relax back. When certain conditioned self is still operating very strongly, cannot quite relax back. When we're hanging out with other people, we get easily triggered, and it's challenging to relax back. So this awakening body, after spontaneous awakening has happened, that's really the time where more and more of the conditioned body starts dissolving. And the more we are resting as that pure light that we are, that pure being that we are, the silence of our being that we are, that mystery that we all are, the more our conditioned self starts dissolving. You know how when there's 100 metronomes turned on each, few seconds after each other, at some point they start going in the same way. That's really what it is. It's going from all over the place. When you look at your meditation now and 10 years ago or 5 years ago or even a few months ago, and you're steady in that awakening process of the body, you see that step by step, and sometimes with big leaps, something lets go. Ah, gosh, that let go. And you can be more just here. Because that's what freedom is. I'm just here. So the pineal gland plays an important role in that. So when the pineal gland is covered with crystals or just hardened, let's call it that. And then the heart layers covering the pineal gland, which is happening for a lot of people. And part of the conditioned self dissolving is that more and more cracks come in that hardened layer that is over the pineal gland. So when we sit in meditation, and especially when we sit in meditation together, we help each other by just all attending to the same silence, all attending to being here, making ourselves available. Through that, we make ourselves available for also the pineal gland to really be a conduit of light. So the more we're becoming free in our humanity, the more light starts coming in our pineal gland, and that starts kind of fueling our bodies. Yeah, it starts kind of like a flow in our bodies, and through different centers or channels in our body, and then our body receives that information, and then that matches with our original information, so to speak, and tells the cells like, hey, wake up, we need to heal here, we need to basically fill up with light. And when we fill up with light, with that light vibration, healing happens in the body. But also healing happens in the mind. You could say more and more of the hardness that has happened around the pineal gland starts breaking and falling away, and more the pineal gland becomes this conduit of light that pours the light in our bodies. So that's in a way in our physicality what starts happening. So our bodies start receiving, or the cells in our body start kind of lightening up. And I often have my own image. I have this little magic wand that's not there, and I'm too lazy to get up. To me, the awakening body is like this magic wand touching each cell in our body. Like bing, 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 just waking that up, filling it with light. And then our whole body just gets filled up with light. And then this light body and this flesh body they fuse together as one. They come together as one. That's how I understand, in my experience, what happens when we come and sit together. So sometimes that can mean that you actually see a light body, or you feel yourself sitting as a light body. Perhaps you don't see or feel a light body. Perhaps you just only feel like the deep silence of your being. And that the silence of our being is just filling and touching every cell, nourishing every cell in our body, and coming to wholeness in our bodies, and more brightness starts coming in. And more we will have access to the mystery that we are, that bright light that we are, that light of awareness that we are, the silence that you are. And the more we are resting as that silence, the more the silence starts taking care of our conditioned self, that part of our conditioned self that doesn't really serve us anymore, that goes a contraction that is not really very helpful. Yeah. So that can mean that the more and more you notice silence comes in, that things can happen in your daily life and not much triggering happens. So for instance, last night, I was with a group of friends. We went to some theater play, and on the way back, a friend of mine, we drove back. I was driving, and at some point I see in my mirror, where, like, oh, I think there's police there. So I said to her, oh, there's police, I need to stop. I had no idea why I had to stop. I said, oh, did I go too fast? I can't even remember. We were just chatting. So it didn't even shake me. It's like, okay, police, light, what's going on? So the guy comes on the side of the car and said, "Are you aware that one of your front lights is not working very well, basically not working?" I said, "Yeah, I know it's not working. Somebody just told me, and I will fix it tomorrow." And he said, "Okay, that's great. And I want to have my driver's license." And he went away. And we just continued chatting, as if nothing was really happening. And then he gave my driver's license back and wished us a wonderful evening, and etc. etc. And later I was just kind of pondering, like, oh yeah, years ago I would have gotten a little nervous, like, oh my God, do you know what's going on? And now it's like, there's just space. There's nothing, not much touched. And it just was flowing. And he was friendly, very friendly. And we were friendly. And it was just kind of a matter of fact. And we said goodbye and we continued driving. And then, actually, funny enough, I dropped off my friend. And then when I left her home, both lights were working again by itself. So that's just a funny story. But you will notice more and more, and I'm sure most of you do notice that already, that the more the silence of your nature comes in, the more that light switch turns on in your pineal gland and starts flooding your body with light and connecting with the cells in your body and waking up, bringing that bright light to life and to wholeness. The more you're just here, the more your feathers are not so shaken. Not much shakes you. It's not that you will never be shaken. Still, if you are shaken, there's still that peace right in the middle. It's what happens in life. There's a trust of goodness, the trust that the mystery is always at our side. It's not against us. Nothing is really against us. All is the goodness of our nature that is unfolding forever. Yeah. And it's truly, the more and more we rest as that light body being that is so still and so alive, the more we get also the information more clear what wants to happen for us, what wants to happen as you in this life, what it is you're here to do or not. Yeah. And then that tends to be often very, very simple, not that complex. It's just one next step is being revealed. And the next step is being revealed. It's obvious. It's the next obvious thing that's right in front of your nose. You don't have to go in your brain and think about it for hours. No, you just look, feel, receive, and allow yourself to be touched. So the more those frozen crystals that are around the pineal gland and they breaking up, the more those crystals are gone, the more just the pure light is pouring in and then pouring into our bodies and filling us up, nourishing literally the flesh, and then nourishing the light that we are already and falling together. So I hope this makes some sense. I sometimes like to also kind of bring that physicality in together with the spirituality, with the spirit, with the unseen, so to speak. And it's all palpable in our own experience. You will notice, perhaps when you used to visit family, you get triggered all the time. And now when you visit your family, you only get triggered 5 minutes instead of the whole day. Or you get triggered 15 minutes and you kind of come back more easily to yourself. Those are all little steps that we can see, like, oh, I'm just more myself. I'm just more this free being, which I'm born. It's my birthright. Be this mystery living as the mystery wants to live. And to me, that's very exciting, because then we truly can make choices. Like, how do I want to live this life? What truly wants to happen for me? How can I align with my nature? Doesn't need to be complex. It's simple. Waking up to your nature is simple. Keep steady going, resting as awareness is simple. It takes everything, but it's simple. Yeah. You have to learn a whole complex cell phone to follow the awakening body. It's just be still and listening to the mystery, how it wants to reveal as you. So it's not rocket science. It's free. It's always available. It only takes you to want it. And that's how I started the first day. Is you need to want it. It's your heart's desire that wants to be lived. And that's for you to follow. And it will come to completion. It will come home. Because in my world, when we have our heart wishes, as I spoke earlier too, our heart wish is the same heart wish as of the universe. There's no difference. So the moment we feel our heart wish, it will be answered also in the outer. Not at our pace, not in our way, but that's part of the unfolding mystery. And to me, that's very exciting. Be on a daily basis, be surprised by how this mystery wants to unfold as me, how this mystery wants to unfold as you. So it's really up to you. It's your free choice to align as with as your wondrous emptiness, your beauty, not the beauty of your best friend, not the beauty of your parents or your neighbors or God knows what. No, you choosing for you, healthy, selfish, choosing for your nature. And when you make that choice, gosh, life will just line up so much. It's just, I don't know how else to say it. It's so overjoyed that you dare to make that step and choice. And it would just help you. Will it always be easy? No, it isn't. And it is straightforward, just one foot in front of the next and the next and the next. And you keep going, turtling on. You just keep turtling on. And I know I'm still turtling on here. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful process. And it never ends.